Well, it's 6:30. I would like to call the December 13, 2016 meeting of the Milledgeville City Council to order. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Here.
Ms. Walden,
Here.
Dr. Lee,
Here.
Mr. Reynolds,
Here.
Mr. Mullins, Mr. Chambers.
Here.
We have a quorum. At this point in time, I'd like to ask everyone to stand and join me as we say the prayer and the pledge. Bow your heads. Dear Father, today we remind ourselves of your faithfulness and your goodness. We ask you for your blessings as we gather this evening. Guide our minds and our hearts so that we will work for the good of our community. May you bless our thoughts and words that are within us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. First item on our agenda tonight is to recognize Ms. Mervyn Graham as a certified human resources manager. A certified human resource manager having recently completed a rigorous 3-year program which provides comprehensive training in human resource management and equips participants with appropriate knowledge, skills, and techniques to perform human resource functions and responsibility in an organization. This body of knowledge is a recognized standard set by the industry professionals and consultants working in the human resources profession. Ms. Graham, if you would come forward. Give me 1 second.
I done lost my pen, man. I'm losing everything. Put everything down. I tell y'all.
One day.
I think my mind went with it.
You've all received copies of the minutes of the November 22nd, 2016 regular council meeting. Are there any corrections? Do I hear a motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Under old business, we have one public hearing to consider. The procedure for this hearing will be as follows. Once it's been determined that the hearing has been properly advertised, the clerk will read the proposed amendment. We will then hear the advisory decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Council will first hear from the applicant, any persons who would like to speak in favor of the amendment. Council will then hear from any persons who would like to speak in opposition to the amendment. We will then give the applicant an opportunity for rebuttal. Rebuttal must be limited to points or issues raised by opposition. This public hearing is to consider ordinance 0161018 to amend the Land Development Code to rezone the property located at 56 Marshall Road from CC to MR2. Has this public hearing been properly posted and advertised?
Yes, sir, it has been.
At this point, I'd recognize Zoning Administrator Mervyn Graham to provide a report to include the advisory decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Yes, sir. This was unanimously approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission on the November 7th meeting, and he is constructing 4 apartment buildings, and they all will be 1-bedroom units for a total of 14 units. It's his desire to do this.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone present who would like to speak in favor of this amendment?
My name is Jimmy Adams.
Can you please come over to the microphone and give your name and address, please?
My name is Jimmy Adams, and I have the option on this property, and the person requesting this. And basically, I just want to reiterate what Ms. Green said. Our proposal is to build 4 buildings that will have up to 14 units and all 1 bedroom, 1 bath. The prospective tenant for these properties will be young people probably from the age of 25 to 35. I own the apartments located 1 lot over from there, and that is the tenants that we currently have there. We're not really seeing this as a college rental area because has no proximity to the city, so just wanted to make sure all that was out there. And be glad to answer any questions about the property.
Is that a 2-story, 1-story?
Right now, they'll all be 1 story.
Similar to what you've got now?
More modern design.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else present who'd like to speak in favor? Is there anyone present who'd like to speak in opposition?
I'd just like to ask some questions for those of us that live.
Would you mind stepping up to the mic? And you need to state your name and address, please.
Carol Goss, 113 Joyner Road. We're just concerned in the neighborhood about the driveway that'll be, will it be on the same side of the others, or will it be on the the Joyner Road side? Because there's a lot of traffic through there already, and we're just concerned about the houses that face that, as to how that's going to affect us and our property values.
Please.
Our proposal is to get it on the Joyner Road side. We feel like if we put it on the Marshall Road side, because of the traffic coming there, that would be a more dangerous situation than facing it toward the Joyner Road. We would try to position it so the in and out traffic would not throw lights directly on anybody's house. As far as traffic is, the typical tenants that we have right now work during the daytime. They leave in the morning, they come back in the evening. It's just not a revolving door of traffic through there. And, you know, basically my thoughts on that is any application that gets put in there is going to add some traffic to it.
Of course. And my question is, what will there be on the side of that, of the apartments, or, I mean, is there going to be a wall there? Is there going to be something there that?
The requirements are that you have a buffer all the way around the property, and, you know, anywhere from 15 foot to 25 foot. The first, we'll probably build it in phases, and the first, it's just 4 buildings. The first 2 buildings would back up to, I guess that would be the west corner of the property next to Star Coin, facing out, and then the other 2 buildings, it'll basically be a U-shaped property. And, you know, we want to leave as much of the trees and stuff as possible
Okay, so, and the driveway will be located where?
on Joyner Road.
I mean, which,
Well,
there's so much traffic on that curve is what I'm saying.
It'll be as far away from the curb as we can get it, because I know exactly what you're saying. You have the traffic coming from Marshall Road, coming from Log Cabin and stuff like that. It will be as far as we can push it up Joyner Road.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in opposition to this amendment? Is there anyone on council who'd like to ask questions or make statements?
I do. I have a question. Where's Miss Graham left? There you are. Okay. I guess my question is this, and this is not necessarily about your project, sir, but just because we've been hit with this question about something else that's going on, as well as probably, and she just asked a question about this one. So when you have on like the diagram that we have in our package, it, you know, shows a buffer, 15-foot undisturbed buffer, and has different things all the way around. Whose job is it to make sure that that actually takes place?
It would be the builder department's job. When they submit a site plan, it's just like the drive. It's going to have to meet a certain distance to the stop sign and another drive. This is what you're getting. It's just preliminary. This is nothing to scale.
Okay.
It is not, things will change as to what you get according to when you actually get the scaled drawing that shows where everything is laid out. Then all the
But
codes are
does the
checked.
requirement of the buffer change?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
The buffer
The
would still be,
size
unless,
buffer?
of course, he asks for an appeal.
Okay, so it's the building department's job
ma'am.
to make sure that once that's part of those plans, and we've approved and adopted according to
Right, because the
requirements.
code's gonna make him have that buffer.
Okay, I just
Yes,
wanted to
ma'am.
make sure of that.
Any other questions or statements? Hearing none, this concludes the presentation of evidence. I'd like to entertain a motion on the ordinance.
Motion we approve?
Second.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on into the new business, I'd like to ask the clerk to provide a first read of ordinance 01612-024 to amend purchasing policies and procedures to exempt governmental cooperative purchasing agencies.
This is the first reading of an ordinance to amend the purchasing policies and procedures of the city of Milledgeville to authorize procurement of goods and services through governmental purchasing cooperatives.
This is scheduled to come back before council, I believe, at our January 10th, 2017 meeting. Next, I'll ask the clerk to read Resolution R1612-039 by caption.
This to authorize a memorandum of understanding with the Georgia Department of Community Affairs to allow Milledgeville Main Street participation in the Georgia Exceptional Main Streets Program for the 2017 program year, and to authorize the National Main Street Center trademark sub-licensing agreement for the 2017 fiscal year.
Having heard the resolution, do I hear a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I'll ask the clerk to read Resolution R1612-040 by caption.
This to authorize Mayor Gary Thrower to sign an initial project assessment and application on behalf of the city of Milledgeville to apply for Georgia Cities Foundation revolving loan funds and for Georgia Department of Community Affairs Downtown Development revolving loan funds on behalf of Frank Pendergast and David Lloyd for the construction of loft apartments and commercial space to be located at 124 and 134 West Hancock Street.
Thank you. You've heard the resolution. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Moving ahead, by the way, the motion did carry. Moving ahead, I'll ask the clerk if would please read Resolution R1612-041 by caption.
To authorize the review committee's recommendation of G. Ben Turnipseed Engineers Incorporated to provide the engineering services for the Department of Community Affairs fiscal year 2017 Community Development Block Grant, and to authorize Mayor Gary L. Thrower to sign a memorandum of selection for professional services under the federal procurement process.
Thank you. You've heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this point, I'd ask the clerk to read Resolution R1612042 by caption.
A resolution of the City of Milledgeville, Georgia, to authorize mayor to execute affidavit and certification for the 2017 Georgia Department of Transportation Local Maintenance and Improvements Grant.
You've heard the motion, you heard the resolution. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Ask clerk to call the question.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
That motion carries as well. Next up, I'll ask the clerk to read Resolution R1612043 by caption.
A resolution of the mayor and aldermen of the City of Milledgeville authorizing the city manager to award contract for Franklin Street landscaping improvements.
You've heard the resolution. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
That motion carries. I know you won't believe it, but we're on our last resolution. I'd like to ask the clerk to read Resolution R1612044 by caption.
To cancel the December 27, 2016 council meeting due to the Christmas holiday.
You've heard the resolution. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the question.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Would you prefer to start with application of the renewals?
The application is good. I have one application for a new alcohol license, and it is for David Chandler Howington on behalf of the Velvet Elvis LLC, doing business as Velvet Elvis, located at 113 West Hancock Street, and this is for beer and wine and liquor, consumption on premises, and alcoholic beverage catering license.
Okay, you've heard the application. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Why is this not a renewal?
I think it's a
Different
it would be
person.
named, owner
Different
change
person.
or manager
Oh,
change,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Change
Be in a
hands.
different person's name.
I see. I apologize.
Anything else? I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
That motion carries. We do have several alcohol renewals for tonight. Hearing no objection, I'll ask the clerk to first present all of them, and then we'll ask that we adopt them all en masse.
First, we have J. Macrup LLC, doing business as Discount Tobacco for beer and wine package to go. Maria S. R. Avila for El Amigo Mexican Restaurant, beer, wine, liquor, Sunday sales, consumption on premises. AUBM Incorporating, doing business as The Brick, 136 West Hancock Street, beer, wine, liquor, and Sunday sales, consumption on premises. Walmart Supercenter number 11, 2592 Columbia Street, for beer and wine package to go. VRG Beverages LLC, doing business Chili's Bar and Grill, 2596 North Columbia Street, for beer, wine, liquor, consumption on premises, and Sunday sales. Metropolis Cafe LLC, 138 North Wayne Street, for beer and wine and Sunday sales, consumption on premises. Sri Hari Business Incorporated, doing business AM City Package Store, 1557 Vincent Highway, for beer, wine, liquor package to go. Shahi Arav Incorporated, doing business H&H Deli, 1441 Vincent Highway, beer and wine package to go. 428 Lake LLC, doing business as Tipsy's Liquor, 1887 North Columbia Street, for beer, wine, liquor, package to go, and catering. And let's see, Yanami LLC, doing business Stop and Save, 844 West Montgomery Street, for beer and wine package to go. HAC Incorporated, doing business Piggly Wiggly, 731 North Wayne Street, beer and wine package to go. Shell Convenience Store, 210 Robertson Mill Road, beer package to go. Quick Stop 3, 2653 North Columbia Street, beer and wine package to go. Georgia Wine and Spirits LLC, doing business Beverage Depot, 201 Robertson Mill Road, beer, wine, and liquor, package to go. Joyner and Ewing Incorporated, doing business Amici's Italian Restaurant, 101 West Hancock Street, beer, wine, liquor, and Sunday sales, consumption on premises. Cowboy Bill's Milledgeville, 2657 North Columbia Street, beer and liquor, consumption on premises. BGRG Incorporated, doing business Capital City, 119 Chops, 117 South Wayne Street, beer, wine, liquor, Sunday sales and catering, consumption on premises. BTJ Holdings Incorporated, doing business Gringos, 107 West Hancock Street, beer, wine, liquor, consumption on premises. BJT Holdings Incorporated, doing business Arby Lanes, 114 South Wayne Street, beer, wine, liquor, consumption on premises, and catering. Boot and Rally Incorporated, doing business Buffington's, 120 West Hancock Street, beer, wine, liquor, consumption on premises, and Sunday sales. MP Heritage Place LLC, doing business Marco's Pizza, 2910 Heritage Place, beer, wine, and Sunday sales, consumption on premises. Soulmasters Barbecue, 451 North Glen Street, beer, consumption on premises. Dolgan Corp. LLC, doing business Dollar General, 1550 North Columbia Street, beer and wine package to go. Dolgan Corp. LLC, doing business Dollar General, 207 Robertson Mill Road, beer and wine package to go. Walgreen Company, doing business Walgreens, number 108, 2350 North Columbia Street, beer and wine package to go. Warren Hawkins American Legion, 430 West MLK Junior Drive, liquor, consumption on premises. Progressive Restaurants Concepts, doing business as Pickle Barrel, 1892 Columbia Street, beer, wine, liquor, consumption on premises, Sunday sales, and catering. Hunan Incorporated, doing business Exxon Food Mart, located at 600 North Jefferson Street, beer and wine package to go. S&R Package Store, 850 South Wayne Street, beer, wine, liquor, package to go. And that concludes the list.
Anyway, you could go over there one more time.
Sure.
You've heard the renewal applications. Is there a motion to approve en masse?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
If you can't find a drink in this town, you're not looking.
I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
That
That's
motion
not a quote
carries.
now.
What'd you say?
I told him that wasn't a quote.
As we come to the close of 2016, there are a number of appointments that I need to make with the consent and members of council. I think it is important for all of us to remember that citizens appointed to the various boards, commissions, and authorities are volunteers serving without compensation. I know I speak for all of us when I say we appreciate and value the time and commitment that these citizens demonstrate during their tenure. These decisions required of those appointed are oftentimes difficult ones. However, as representatives of the city, these decisions should be made with the utmost care and with the best interest of the city in accordance with the city's charter and ordinances. With that said, I'd like to take this opportunity to nominate Mr. Clay Wood to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Mr. Wood has agreed to serve a 3-year term beginning January of 17. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Vice Clerk, call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving along, I'd like to nominate Patricia Hicks, Irvin Griffin, and Dr. Jeff Seiler to the Ethics Board for another term. Hearing no objection from council, I'd like to make these appointments as a group. Do I hear a motion on the group?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is that for what term? Is that a 1-year term or for
3-year
3?
terms.
2? Okay.
Two.
Any other discussion? I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
That motion carries as well. So as we prepare to make appointments to the Central State Hospital Local Redevelopment Authority Board, I'd like to take this opportunity to commend Mr. Jarrett and the immediate members of City Council for your work in establishing and funding this authority. The idea to engage a team of dedicated community leaders in the task of revitalizing the State Hospital campus for public use was conceived by the city government in 2011. With the wholehearted support of the City Council, legislation was enacted by the General Assembly and signed into law by Governor, thereby establishing the Central State Hospital Local Redevelopment Authority in 2012, with Mike Couch as its executive director. Since 2012, the city has provided funding for the authority with budgeted investments of over $1 million. The city has seen positive results from this investment through the leadership of Mike Couch, the executive director, and the authority's dedicated board members. Organizations such as Congentes, Charred Brave Food Pantry, and several local churches have already chosen the Central State Hospital campus as their home. And the recent ribbon cuttings for both the Bostic Nursing Center and the Youth Challenge Academy are a testament to the ongoing economic progress being made. We are proud of the accomplishments that the authority has made, and we're pleased with the return on the city's investment for our community. And we are excited to see what the future holds for Central State Campus. With this in mind, it is my pleasure to nominate Ms. Quay Hurt-Fuller, Dr. John Ferguson, Dr. George Martinez, Dr. Joy Nelson, Mr. Dudley Rowe, Dr. Nolan Stevens, Mr. Bruce Vaughn, and Mr. Russ Walden to serve another 4-year term. Hearing no objection from council, I'd like to make these appointments as a group. So do I hear a motion on the group?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Thank you guys. We appreciate all you've done.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say one thing about this board. It's one of the hardest working boards that I have ever taken part with. And also, one thing, they are committed, because we have never had to cancel a meeting because we didn't have a quorum. They have always been there and did what they could for this community. They work very hard, and I just want you to know how much we appreciate it. And it has paid off, because this city stepped out on blind faith and decided that we were going to finance this board to get this job done, and you have really done a good job, and we do appreciate it.
Well said.
Yes. I agree.
The chair of this board is also appointed by the mayor and confirmed by council. So at this point in time, I'd like to nominate Ms. Quay Hurt-Fuller to serve as the chair for the Central State Hospital Local Redevelopment Authority for another term. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'd ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Ms. Walden,
Aye.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
That motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Fuller. Thank you for everything you've done. Any other discussion, anything else to come tonight? I want to take this opportunity to once again thank Mr. Barry Jarrett, Carly Schultze, Frank Ball, along with all the men and women of the city who set up the Christmas lights downtown, coordinated the lighting of the Christmas tree on Friday night, especially Fowler Flemish and Custom Signs and Designs for providing the tree, and also for the Exchange Club for the wonderful job they've done with the Christmas parade. It was, once again, impressive. Understanding that we've canceled the last meeting of the month, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank all the citizens for your support this year, and we hope that you have a safe and enjoyable holiday season. There being no further business to conduct, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We stand adjourned.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.